Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. This week I am working on a block design. You can see that what I've marked, you can see these nested squares, and what I actually marked was the center of, from my dot and dash blocks stencil, I marked this square, but I turned it this way. So I just laid it out, you know, had a little crosshair so I could lay it out. So I centered it and marked only this center portion. Because what I want to do is I'm going to use my Line Illusions ruler, number 4, this one. And we're actually going to use this side. So what I'm going to do here is I wanted the square because I want to add a frame to the center of the block. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around the outside here and do this shape. So I'm going to stitch down here and this shape will be going in, and I'll do that the whole way around, and then I'm going to go around again so I have a little frame in there. So I'm going to go ahead and start right in the corner here. So we're just going to line up, and what I'm doing to line up, it's really hard. Let me turn one of these lights off here. It's reflecting back on me. I'm just lining up the center line on the ruler with the center line on the stencil, and I you know, set up so that I'm going to stitch against this but land on the stencil line. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch here. Again, I'm going to slow down so I can get around here without kind of going off the curve. I'm going to get down here to the corner, and then I'm going to turn the ruler. I'm just going to do the same thing here. So obviously I want to stitch there. I'm lining up the center and making sure that I'm 1/4 inch away over on the right hand side, and then I will stitch. And then I'm going to turn the ruler and do the same thing here and make sure that I'm lined up good. I'm on the center. And then I'll stitch. Stop in the corner. Let me trim this thread real quick. Or come back this way. Lining up the center here, making sure that I'm going to land 1/4 inch away. And we can stitch. Now, when I get to the center, because I said I want to, gosh, I really love that shape. I want to do an echo inside. So what I'm going to do, because it's already on the stencil, this line, I'm going to go ahead and put like a miter, I guess you would say, because I want to be able to get back out of here when I'm done. I just need to remember to add that little miter line on all 4 corners as I come to them. So we're just going to do basically the same thing. So now I'm lined up again, lining up on the center line, but this time it's a little bit easier because we can line that first line on the ruler up on the stitching as well as on the bottom. And then I'm just going to stitch this again. Remembering when I come to the corner, I almost have to say it to myself because if I don't, I'll forget. And I want that miter in there just so that all 4 corners are the same. So I went out and back in. Then I'm going to line this up again, centering on that center line, lining up this first line on the stitching, and we are ready to stitch. to that corner. I want to go out and back, and then do the same thing on this side. Center's lined up. I'm on there, and stitch. Out and back. And this last one, lining up here. That's on the line, on the line. Okay, so now we have this nice little shape in here, frame, it's echoed. So what I'm going to do now is I want to add some feathers in there, I think. I mean, you have a lot of options at this point. I mean, we have this X going through that we could use, but I really like to do mine totally random, so I just want to essentially fill this in. So I'm just going to grab my chalk pencil, and actually I may get rid of some of these interior lines just so I don't get too confused. Just, you know, you start to see all these lines and then it's like, oh no. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these a little bit. And now I'm going to grab my chalk pencil and I'm just going to randomly mark a line here. So let's see, because I need it to, and I'll kind of make one go out there, and then here, and then here, and I'm going to make it end in the opposite corner, just so it ends in a corner so I can get back out of this shape. So now I'm not going to actually stitch the spines, I'm just going to fill it, and I'm just going to do, you can do whatever kind of feathers you like. I'm going to do feathers on both sides at once. I don't worry too much about if I get off of that chalk spine. I mean, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the center, and I'm going to speed that up a little bit. Okay, now that I've finished those, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of sneak out, because I can get out because I have that little mitered corner there. And I'm really going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just randomly kind of mark this little wavy line. And what I really like about this is that because we did that frame with that shape going in, it really gives us some kind of a cool shape to fill. So that's kind of nice. And I'm just going to kind of use a feather shape to get out there, like this, out to that spine I've marked, so that I can continue and fill this whole section in with little feathers. And they're going to be all different sizes. Some really tiny ones, some bigger ones. Now we have this nice little kind of rounded point to take those feathers down into. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish those real quick. Okay, so that finishes up the feathers. And I think it came out really pretty. You know, it just really, it gives you the nice frame, so it kind of adds some interest to it, gives you a nice area to fill. Sure, I mean, and you could have done any number of things. Maybe you want to do something different outside, or like I said before, use these lines to have your feather, or whatever design you choose to put in the center, a little more symmetrical. But I really like the random flowy look to my feathers. So let me see. I think it might look better if I turn the light off. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, I think I really like it. I hope I didn't even think about it, but this is, I'm using today for the thing. Normally I just use solids, but today I'm using this Kona Sheen. It has kind of like this, I don't know if the metallic is woven in or glittery, but it has a really nice shine. I hope it's not too shiny for a video. But there it is. It goes fairly quick. Hope you guys like that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.